I was speaking to a doctor at Roodepoort. And this doctor at the time of Keenan's murder was in Durban, and he works in that section, casualties and stuff, you know. So he was just explaining like
Morningside.
So he was explaining like, yo, dog, watching that CCTV and stuff, there's absolutely no way this man felt any pain. Like they just switched him off.
Let it happen on camera.
Actually, I had a young person. Are you recording?
No, not yet.
I like it.
I just wanted to ask based on the format, because what you were saying now, Usbu wants on the thing, and sometimes people get too formal.
I get excited.
Yeah. So
are we on now?
No, I'm saying that French Fry was going to join us in a bit. He was saying, yo, we need a youth corner. What? A youth hustler. For the youth, yeah.
Welcome, guys. It's a Monday. I just want to say next door, myself and Penuel, the Black Pen, we've just dropped an episode of Virtual MKHUKHU. A dope one. We had it at, we recorded it at Simolong Precinct. It's a tech precinct in Braamfontein.
Simolong.
Simolong or Simolong.
SHIMOLOGONG.
Yeah, it's in Braamfontein, just right next to Wits University. I'm excited because it's the tech hub. There's a lot of metaverse conversations happening here. There's tech startups that are all over the place. People are doing great work in the mining space. They're inventing in that space, in the tech space, with mining. Some guys are doing creative stuff in fashion. Guys are doing creative things in animation. Guys are doing great things in gaming. Guys are doing great things in app startups, payment gateways. There's all sorts of different things that are happening just right in the heart of Braamfontein, which is in Johannesburg, South Africa. We've been invited by some entrepreneurs that own a company called Add More Digital. They're incredible guys. They've been doing their thing for the past couple of years. They're like, guys, come through, record with us. Let's talk about our place. Maybe quickly, I didn't plan to have them on this episode because we're interviewing them next door, Mina and Penuel. But let the guys come through and say hi. Come through, guys.
Okay. While they're on their way, I'll just like some apologies for remembering the names of the black VCs. Ne? The corrections that were on the previous episode have been noted, guys. So Zeblon Vilagazi is VC from WITS. JJ or Jonathan Johnson was at UFS, University of Free State. And then Eron van Rensburg was the UJ VC.
Lovely. How are you doing, brother? Brief introduction. Thank you so much for inviting us. Congratulations with the great work that you guys are doing in this tech hub or tech facility.
Thank you for spending some time to join us today. So my name is Chibolo Monde, co-founder of Add More Digital, alongside my colleague there, Stanley.
What do you guys do?
All right, we are a digital solutions company in a nutshell. So anything digital, we are the guys for you.
Thank you so much again to the Avengers. Apparently, I saw on social media, you guys are the new Avengers.
The pod Avengers.
Thank you so much for having us. We are Add More Digital. I'm Stanley Moloto. We build websites, we do UX, UI, we do graphics, we do social media management, coming to you from Simolong Precinct, right just next to Wits University. Thank you guys for having us. If you guys have ideas to build apps, reach out to us. We'll build the prototypes for you. If you're looking for a website, reach out to us. We'll build the most responsive and great website that will best represent your company. Thank you so much, guys.
Congratulations for the great work, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And then once again, Nota rocks up with the guest.
Ayekho umuntu ohlupha emhlabeni njengonhlamulo baloyi. Ayekho umuntu ohlupha emhlabeni njengalo bhudo ohlele eceleni kwami la.
So Nota, we're expecting Nota to come alone. We only have 3 mics. Nota rocks up with a guest. But you know what I love is that's what we're about. We're about giving back, putting people on. Let's put him on and let him tell us what does he do, who is he in the industry, what his dreams are, and why did Nota bring him to the table. And I'm excited because Nota is like, I saw him post something on the social media the other day saying, Mondays are under new management. I don't know what that means.
So to all the hustlers, guys, happy Monday. Thank you so much for always welcoming us onto your platform. We love you. We appreciate you. And then over to Ubaloi.
No, that's the intro, I guess. I'll take the intro, whatever he said verbatim. French Fry.
Yo, what's up, bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. Thanks for bringing me here.
Yeah.
Sneaking me in, actually.
I snuck you in. Tell us where you met DJ Sbu.
Yo, the first time I met DJ Sbu was at AKA's listening session at the Sony headquarters.
Yeah, on the roof.
Yeah, at the rooftop. It was crazy.
A group.
Yeah. So on my way out, I saw him chilling there low key. I was like, damn, I gotta pull up on the OG. He's a second generation OG, like from where I'm seated.
Yeah.
Basically, he's my OG's OG. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
So I pull up on him and I'm like, yo, OG, like I didn't know what to tell him. All I knew is that we have to work, you know?
Yeah.
So he took my number, I took his, and I didn't know it was gonna happen this quick, but I'm happy I'm out here actually. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, why were you at the listening session? Like, what brought you there? Have you ever collaborated or worked with AKA in any way?
Yeah, for sure. So it was an honor, you know, for me to host AKA's very first Twitter space. This took place last year as part of his rollout for Lemons to Lemonade featuring Nasty C. So he was asking like, Doug, I want to try these Twitter space, you know, stuff out. Who can do it for me? So a lot of people knew that I did it because I interviewed on my Twitter spaces people like 25K, Mash Beats, you know, the youngins. Yeah. And people just started tagging me under his tweet.
Sure.
So he saw it. He spoke to his team. He spoke to the Megacy. There are people within the Megacy that he trusts, you know, and they researched everything. And then I got hit up on the day. Like, yo, Keenan wants you to host the space. He's only giving you 15 minutes. You know? So I'm thinking, yo, these are 15 minutes of my life. Like, yo, I gotta hop on and do it, you know?
For you. I'm talking to Siri.
Oh, cool. So, yeah.
Please carry on French. Sorry, bro.
No, it's all good. So this took place in September. Shout out to Lisa and the others that made it happen from the Megacy. So I hosted that space. Within 5 minutes, I knew that I only had 15 minutes, you know, so I'm telling the Megacy that, yo, we only got the OG here for about 15 minutes. So I think he was so calm, so relaxed. And he was like, yo, actually, I'm going to chill. Like, I'm out here. We ended up doing it for 47 minutes.
That's
counting down to the second.
Yeah, because I recorded it. You know what I mean? So on the second time I interviewed him, I wasn't supposed to interview him.
Sure.
They had somebody else lined up, but due to whatever, you know, happened, the Megacy was like, damn, what can we do? You know, so they hit me up.
The Megacy is like an organization.
Yeah, it's properly ran, actually.
Sorry, French Fry, from my side, officially on camera. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, my brother. Yeah, when I grow up.
All the hustlers out there as well.
Yo.
To know colored nyana.
Yeah, man, it's a whole mixed whatever going on.
Sure. But I can see because I come from
something nyana.
Sure.
Yeah.
What mix do you have in your family?
Indian.
You know what I'm gonna do? Since I wanna come back, this is my opportunity to say, how about we chop it up on the next episode?
So I want to give a shout out to Nota outside of French Fry. Nota always rolls with generally, because I'm 36, 37 now, with younger guys that he wants to put on. Come see how we work, come see how we do things, come meet DJ Sbu. And I think that's something really, really commendable that people may not know about him. He doesn't travel alone. He travels with young guys, young girls. Come see the space, come network, come meet people. And I think, shout out to you, Nota. Shout out to French Fry.
Thank you. And Nami, I was also put on by my big brothers. So I'm just doing what they did for me.
Shout out.
So how old are you now?
24.
24, which makes you 1999.
Actually turning 25 later this year.
1998.
Yeah.
Okay. Indanga ya Nasty C.
Yeah, no, it's quite young.
Aries. Yeah. Born free. No. It's 97, 98, same age.
Okay.
Same age. Ningalwi.
Shout out. Yeah.
So tell us about that interview that then you did.
The second one? Oh, yeah. So that day, I was supposed to go to an artist named The Big Hash. I was invited to his exclusive listening session.
She was born in 98.
98, 99.
Yeah, no, he was born in 98.
Cool. So,
born 99, actually.
Yeah.
Between there.
So I told his manager that, yo, I'm really sorry. I can't make it there because, you know, it's the OG, you know. You got to show respect to the people that paved the way. So when I took that, literally, I think it was an hour before the space. I think that's when Keenan was like, nah, shout out to this kid. So he just started trusting me. That's how our relationship grew. And then obviously we know what had happened on the 10th of February. Rest in peace to Keenan Forbes. So
we're actually shooting this on the 11th of March, so it's been a month and a day.
It's been exactly a month and a day since he left us. He was taken away from us, actually. And then I got invited to the listening session, right? So they didn't tell me what they had cooked up. I got there just respecting everyone's space. I was just there to enjoy the album, and participate. I could not turn down that invitation. Only to find out that when Mom Lynn Forbes went up to make a speech, they had already told her that, she needs to call French Fry up there with her. So I'm just chilling. Yeah, I'm just chilling with my boys, and then she's like, yo, is French Fry up here? What? So I get up there and, the whole time she's like, yeah, you're going to stand right here with me as I say the speech, So that was a crazy moment. And that's pretty much how the relationship just like expanded. That night, I got to properly meet Cairo, DJ Zinclair, Nadia, Stefan, the whole family, it was just
Tony
crazy.
D.
Tony wasn't there at the listening session, but yeah.
Okay. No, that's dope,
So
man.
we out here now.
That's dope. So obviously you listened to the album at the listening session.
Yeah.
The OG Spooler was there.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it. I had another listening session to go to as well. But I mean, I knew that I was going to listen to the album at midnight when it dropped. So what did you think on first listen at the listening session?
I think it was for me, very emotional as well, because remember what had just happened. Before they played the album, I was literally on stage with his mom, So I was just like, what just happened, bro? Trying to process everything. She was crying as well as she was making the speech. So it just took me back. So I couldn't properly zone into the music or the musical elements of the album.
But what was the feeling in the room?
But the feeling in the room was like, the energies were really good. It was an intimate type of session, So not too many people. So everyone was vibing song by song. The producers that worked on the album were on stage. The artists that worked on the album were on stage. I chopped it up with Bheki as well. He was out there. So the vibes was just crazy, but also remembering that, damn, man, we just lost an OG, So just trying to come to terms with that was very difficult. But a few days after, that's when I properly sat down and listened to the album. And I was like, damn, okay, this feels like an album that's going to grow on me a lot. Some of the songs now being in the album, you understand why they sounded like that as singles. Lemon's Lemonade sounded different when it came out, but it was nice. But now in the album, you understand why it's there, So yeah, crazy. It's still growing on me.
Thanks a lot, French.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not going to be able to play the album right now.
Okay.
But I mean, I love the album. I didn't quite understand the singles at first. I mean, Lemons to Lemonade for me was a little bit mild when I first heard it. And then they dropped Paradise, and I was like, I'm not too sure about this, because in the streaming era, you can't be dropping build-up singles. You know what I mean? You need a fire, a heater. And obviously Cele at that point in time,
it was
the biggest song. It's flaming hot. It's right at the top of the game. And I was like, nah, we can't have Super Mega dropping and not dropping the hottest tracks or the hottest singles. And then he dropped Prada, I think, before then. And I was like, nah. This is not the way we're going down. We're 3 singles in and...
You're still not sure.
And we haven't got a song that can top Cele. You must remember Cele was at the top of the game at that point in time. It was untouchable.
Yeah.
We still haven't heard anything. As soon as I heard Company, though, I was like, Key Dominant is back. You understand? And then I was like, okay, fine. I hope that the album has got a track that can top Company. So when I heard the album in full context, actually, I was like, it doesn't need a song to top Company. Company is the one. But the rest of the songs were elevated now that you were hearing it in full context, And as you were saying, he was taken from us, and it felt like we were robbed of the full court press.
Yeah, that he states on Last Time.
Yeah, so tell us about that song.
A lot of people in my generation are bashing that song. And I don't understand why. So many hardcore references,
Take us
the
through
way
them.
he's saying it also.
Take us through them,
You
take
know,
us through them.
yeah. I actually wrote quite some stuff. Like I like being prepared. I've seen a lot of people do some reviews, you know, and they just freestyling. And yo, this is an OG. We need to respect the art. He's been working so hard on the album, so I didn't want to just come say whatever I think. You know, I had to kind of like prepare for this.
No, that's good.
So,
Preparation.
Yeah, Mass Country. The opening song or the intro is titled Last Time. And it's crazy because this is like his last album.
And you know, the funniest thing, it's his first album. All the other albums he did, the first album that he released, his debut album, was a mixtape, 7 tracks. And then because for the SAMA rules to submit a new album, you have to add another 7 tracks. That's back then, in 2010, 2011. So he took 24/7, 366, the mixtape. He took the best 7 songs of there, and then he had added another 7 songs, and that was released under Show Love.
Shout out to Tibbs.
Yeah, so that was Tibbs's. So this time was like, actually for me, it was like the first time, because it's the first time he's actually started and finished an album and completed it, and it's not just like a playlist of the singles that he's got, and then he fills up the rest of the project. So yeah, tell us about that.
So we got Last Time. This was produced by Tepo Moloi, Teddy, right?
Teddy, yeah.
Shout out to Zadok as well, and obviously AKA was on production. A few days before we passed, he actually said, yo, I'm actually one of the best, if not the best producers hip hop wise, you know, because of the number ones of all time.
No, not just that. I mean, he's produced for Pro Kid. You know what I mean? The only one above him.
Yo, dog.
You know what I mean?
And he said,
Linda Mkize, believe it.
Shout out to Linda, RIP to the OG as well. Written by Bali, SA. Bali also worked a lot with Kid X, right? Shout out to him.
I think so.
He's a writer. So on this track, there are a lot of country music elements. You know, you could just hear from the strings going in. And then there's a sentimental hook. Love is supposed to be something more than a pastime, you know. I dust myself up as I make my way to the next time, you know. So it starts that off with a little bit of singing, you know, Super Mega like experimenting with that. Then it gets in with the opening is crazy, you know. I'm coming in with the full court press, Transnet.
School of Excellence. You know Transnet School of Excellence?
You know,
what do you know about it?
How Paula?
Yeah, but the kids, they don't know.
Oh no, it's you guys to hit.
Yeah.
When I'm here, French,
no,
I'm
explain
here.
for the young kids.
No,
They don't know.
I'm letting French have your time, bro.
I had to ask.
You didn't know what the School of Excellence was?
No.
Okay,
I don't
please go for
I don't want to lie. But I had to ask, and I found out because I was listening to learn, you know. And this was a school where the best South African football players had to pass their trial, you know, to make it into the top teams. So full court press, Transnet, School of Excellence. Then he goes on to say all black uniform, you know, because the school uniform is that Nike Tech. Then he goes deeper with the football references like Chabalala, Mexico, corner of the net.
And you know Chabalala kicked that Jabulani.
That Jabulani ball. Kilampela, but listen though, you know what I mean? Like, bro, what I want to say though is there are a few moments that connected South Africans at the same time, same, you know, moment, same activity. And 2010 FIFA World Cup, that Chabalala goal was one of them.
Yeah.
Wherever you were, Zela's going crazy. If you're in the stadium, even worse. Everyone with the flags.
I was at Innisfree Park.
You know, the fan parks. So Mass Country being an album for South Africans, for the masses of the country. You understand? That moment right there highlighted what everything in this album stands for. That Shabalala, Mexico, corner of the net. This is the wall of Jericho, right? Sitting on your neck. So AKA being a WWE fan, Chris Jericho, dog. Jericho, dog. I mean, dog. Bro.
And you know the wall of Jericho, that's a biblical reference. Exactly. So,
you know?
Yeah.
Because, okay, so Chris Jericho, one of the biggest WWE heels of all time. A heel is somebody that the supporters like don't like. You know, they go there, insult the fans, but it's a character that they have to play
It's like Kurt Angle.
You suck.
You suck.
Randy Orton at some point was a heel. Yeah. But his finishing move was called the wall of Jericho. So he literally like sits on your neck, you know. But the Bible reference as well, Joshua was leading the Israelites
Out of the 40 years of wilderness.
Yeah, after Moses had passed on and he was now the leader in charge. So the walls of Jericho were so high, you know what I mean? And for them to take these walls down, they suffered, but they had to round and sing 6 days. On the 7th day, they had to round 7 times and then it fell. So this just like, I think it highlights the struggle, that he's gone through in this industry. We know what happened in 2021, losing his partner and whatever. So it wasn't easy, but he's just highlighting the fact that, I've been through it, now I've broken the walls down, those are some of the craziest lines in the track, but there's a lot that he says, dog. Should I go on? This is just track one.
Going,
you know what I mean?
Keep going. Tell us more of this track.
Let's go. Let's celebrate Kiernan Forbes.
You understand?
Yeah, this is the super mega, Right after that, mega, no. This journey is spiritual. But don't forget the bread, right? So, we just spoke about the Bible reference, so he adds that it's spiritual, just to connect the two. Then he says, remember what Mikado said.
Just take care of the kids.
And this is why we, like people my generation, Penuel, will be so heartbroken. This loss, we haven't properly processed Ricky's passing, So to lose Kiernan like this, we said, do we still have OGs that are going to look out for us like that? I spoke last year, literally, I tweeted that, people don't know that AKA is the one who, I'd like to say, put 25K on to a grand stage at the orchestra. Right now, 25K is known for that Pitori sound. Very important in SA hip hop as far as that sound.
Yeah.
It traces all the way back because he hopped on his remix for Culture Vulture with MT. People don't know the work that AK has put in for photographers alone. Blacksmith got the photo. Right?
The Blacksmith got the Indo. Now you liking my photo. You understand?
You know what I mean? So he's literally been somebody that looked out for the kids within the art space all around. But even outside of arts, you were marching with AKA in the streets of Brahm against high tuition fees. AKA donated 100,000 rand towards the VITS SRC humanitarian fund. He's done a lot for the kids. So that reference, remember what Mikado said, just take care of the kids. Like we lost somebody that really took that serious. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Took care of many kids.
Do you think there's still some OGs that are left that have that type of...
not
because Ricky Rick was amazing at putting kids on, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm not sure on that platform, the same platform that AKA had.
And I guess it's a call to the guys that are left to please pick up the baton.
Pick it up.
And carry on with what Ricky Rick and AK literally is leaving a message in his passing. Take care of the kids. That's dope.
That's facts. So that first verse, shout out to people like Zakes. He's now a Grammy
award-winning,
award-winning artist. Yo, please respect South Africa, please. Shout out to OG Zakes. A good reference to him, Zakes on the decks, Kala Afrotech, Zaka more elastic bands. You know what I mean? Shout out Johnny Clegg. Who is Johnny Clegg? People my generation don't pay attention.
That's Juluga.
That's Juluga.
That's the sweat.
You know what I mean? Juluga. During the apartheid times, it wasn't allowed for mixed race bands, and he started this Juluga band with Prasipo Uno, right? And they released their debut project. I think it was called Universal Men. And he was out there literally like uniting. He played a role in uniting the nation. So again, mass country for the masses of South Africans. So all the references here just points out to South Africa. So after that, he says,
shout out to Johnny Clegg, man.
Go back to Genius.
He used to speak his Zulu. And he became one of the first Zulu
white people.
He's an anthropologist as well.
I'd like to think Jesse Clegg was on the Hustlers Corner as well a couple of episodes back. So shout out to the entire Clegg family.
Shout out.
The clan.
Shout out to the clan. Before the Johnny Clegg.
I think one legend about Johnny Clegg, shout out. I throw in that one when I'm
PJ Powers, yes.
PJ Powers.
Lance Klusner was another
Yo.
South African. He
Zulu.
played for the Proteas. They called him
Lance Zulu.
Yo.
because he spoke his Zulu. I think Jonty Rhodes as well from Edandi. Also a Proteas white boy from Emaplazini.
He's a multiple Protea. He was a Protea hockey player and a
Super
Protea
talented. Conrad
cricket player.
Janchis, Herschel Gibbs, those guys.
Yeah.
Well,
Legends,
yeah,
South
Herschel Gibbs is the
African
colored guy.
legends. Yeah.
Hey, Zola Pat, she ran barefoot. And you know it's best to run barefoot, but let's not get into that. It's science though.
So before the Johnny Clegg ref, he actually says, at the top, Kilimanjaro, South A is the flag. You know, I actually didn't know that AKA's mom climbed up Kilimanjaro.
Like Ricky's mom.
Like Ricky's mom. You know, that's quite cool. South A is the flag. That's when he goes on to reference Johnny Clegg. Shout out Johnny Clegg, Kulichana, living legend. Blessed time. I guess I stood the test. Jesus is the gas. I got too much in the tank. Cool. That's how I closed off the first
track.
verse. The first verse?
Oh, the first verse.
In the second verse, I'm not gonna go deep into it because there's a lot of songs on the album, but I just want to touch on the specific part. He's like, at the forefront of the game, a pioneer. I took my shots to the chest. Why? They hung me by the neck. I sacrificed my reputation, drew lines in the sand so the next generation don't have to bow their head. So he just speaks again, on what he's done for.
And the sacrifices he's made.
And the sacrifices made for people like Nasty C to have a platform, people like your Shane Eagles, the kids that I just mentioned, 25K,
all the ones
Bheki,
who trying to go plat without a vernac
all
record.
of these guys who are now comfortable to say, I can be a South African hip hop superstar.
Yeah.
And rap in English.
Rap in English,
Yeah.
I'm the one who made it cool to rap in English.
Yeah, who went plat without a vernac record. You know what I mean? So that's
State facts and give him some damn credit. Come on, kids.
So that's the first track. Multiple references in it. You should check it out. Try listening with the intention to learn. Not just to critique. Because this album also made me learn his writing style. When you're giving South African references in your songs, there's a certain way you got to do it to make it cool.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So he was like one of the guys who just made it look so easy. You just got to pay attention to that. So yeah, that's what I picked up from the opening track.
From last time. And then the next one?
Okay, cool. So the next track, he features...
Did you go through all your notes for last time?
Yeah. Literally all the notes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So on the second track, we have... I hope I'm not boring Penuel.
No, I'm listening, dog. And more than anything, I think for the hustlers out there, as Boo said, as Nota said, we're giving you the platform, bro. So we're listening, we're learning. I think you've done your research. If you maybe weren't sure, we'd be filling in the gaps.
Cool.
But please feel free, bro. School guys, like you said, you're speaking for a generation.
Yeah.
Shout out to AK, man. So
Shout
AK is obviously our generation. And
Yeah.
to what you were saying, we listen to a lot of American hip hop where they send shout outs to certain areas that we don't know.
We don't know.
To certain people's names that we don't know. And AK truly was so hip hop that he focused on, if Americans want to give shout out to areas, I'll do that. If they'll give shout out to certain OGs, regardless of it's sports people or if it's politicians, I'll do that. And he made it cool. A lot of people at some point, AK became so musical that they stopped listening to the lyrics and they don't know what a fucking amazing lyricist he actually was. And that's why I appreciate you saying, don't just listen to critique, listen to learn. But I don't want to interrupt because I want you to go in, bro. We're here to learn.
Yes,
We're
sir.
here to
I
teach.
won't lie, like it's also making me emotional. So like some of it's like I'm like my hands are shaking. Like I'm just trying to fight back some tears because
Oh, and this is my focus face when I'm learning, by the way.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, so it's not boredom.
Shout out Hustlers, Yusirski. So we're moving on to track 2 on Mass Country.
Track 2.
Yo, we're gonna wrap up. So
You guys unleashed a monster here in French Fry. Now the kids are gonna want to hear all the tracks. I think if we don't get a chance today to go through all the tracks, you owe us a platform.
But let's
whether
go
it's here
through
or
them
somewhere
quickly.
else.
Let's go through
as
them.
far as we can get.
Yeah,
Sure.
let's go as far as we can get through your notes.
Through the heat.
Homie, damn.
Blessings that go follow.
Follow me for a while. Yes, sir. That's Crown. Okay, cool. So track 2, we got Mbuzi. So many
Mbuzi. As in, it's a goat.
samples, right? Kirimbi, right? Sister Bettina. If you know
Mkharimbe, yeah.
Mkharimbe, sorry, Sister Bettina. There's a Robert Marawa clip speaking to Benny McCarthy. Yo.
Let me just add there. AKA with the sample game, though.
Yo.
Shout out to Kanye as well.
You know what I mean?
That's a Kanye influence then.
Yo. So Benny McCarthy, who's now one of the assistant coaches, the forwards coaches at Manchester United's first team, who they've just won a trophy. And before they match with West Ham, they actually on their blog sent a shout out to AKA. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
From Manchester United's
That's
official
dope.
page. AKA was a very huge
Manchester United fan, yeah.
So there's a clip of the OG Robert Marawa speaking to Benny. He's got all the boozies basically on this one, and he features an upcoming GOAT. Let's go through some of the bars. Let's go through like how it opens it up, like fresh out the bed, new Jordan 3's got a spring in my step. Just the way like Keenan would move in the Jordan 3's, very emotional as well because when he got murdered, he was literally wearing the Jordan 3's. You know what I mean? I do my devotion and drop in the X. Like, it just also highlights the fact that in his last days, he was very serious, about this journey that he had taken with, shout out to the OG,
Pastor
Cabello, and there we go. So he says something about, he hits the off ramp and goes right to the bag. But it's a play on words because the line after that, you know what he says? Is like, this ish is a pendulum motion. It swings, so he's going to hit, but sometimes it hits back. You know what I mean? But then after that, it's like, I just let God do his thing. So sometimes he wins.
And the bag is obviously the punching bag, the money bag.
Yeah, let's go, Keenan.
And he was obviously always training at Fight Club.
Always training at Fight Club.
Yeah, so yeah.
That kept him focused and fit. Cool. So, a very, very key line that I picked up as well. I am a fan of Amapiano, but I cannot bend over backwards to fit in with trends. This is not the first time he says something about that. Like on Lemon's Lemonade, he had said,
switched up piano like vultures.
Piano like vultures. Now, thank God they showed us their true colors. Keenan Forbes embodied hip hop. He was the embodiment of what hip hop stands for. Culture.
But I mean, Galaxy Boy, that's culture.
That's culture. Yo, shout out.
Black Coffee was on Podcast and Chill explaining why he doesn't do Amapiano and hip hop because he focuses on his craft, which is almost a link to that. And I didn't want to interrupt you. I wanted to say shout out to Rudy at Fight Club. So I know the guy who actually owns the Fight Club gym, whatever. So shout out to Rudy and his family as well.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yo. Cool. Let's just go closer. I just got that text that say 150K 25th of December. I told him no way.
Because he didn't work on Christmas. He was with his family.
Family first is the wave. It's so crazy because on the song DreamWorks with Yanga, there's something that he says about his family. No. I just forgot that line, but he says something about, I just hope I make it home for Christmas.
Yeah, position. As in pole position, as in number 1 on the charts.
Yeah. So before he was working so hard for the time when he can turn down a 150K gig just to spend time with his family. So that hit. There we go. MTV list, just shopping the blade, Not even once did they put me in first place. So it was a privilege and honor for me to be part of the panel for Hottest MCs, both in 2021 and 2022. And yeah, even then, AKA was like not on any of those lists. When I was still watching on TV, he also wasn't on
Luckily, the mic is a bookmark, yeah?
Yo, thank you. He wasn't on any of those lists too. The closest was 2018. He was number 2. Questa was number 1.
Twice in a row.
2017, 2018. I think that was the year, of Keenan Forbes, because 2018 he came with Touch My Blood. The year prior, he came with Be Careful What You Wish For with Anati. So he was on a crazy work type of like releasing crazy work, quality videos, shows. He was out there,
The world is yours.
The world is yours, hits. So I think that really touched him to a point where the historic video where he's like, yo, MTV, you know what? Don't ever put me on your list. If I'm not number 1, don't ever put me on that list.
Yeah, but how is he going to beat Spirits though? That's another level. It was just unfortunate, but no. So let's go to the next track.
Yeah, track 3. I'm about to hop onto track 3 now. That's Crown.
With MT.
It features MT. Christa produced it. Zadok. It was again written by Bali, Baby Son.
He's now Son. He's not just Son.
He's now Son. Okay, shout out to Son. You know, one of the writers. AKA worked with the best writers. That's how serious.
Yeah, no, GOAT writers. Yeah.
So on track number 3, man, another vibey song, but also just stating like, yo, like this is the guy who deserves the crown. He's not capping when he says that, yo, the crown is sitting on his head now. He's put in the work, he's put in the blood, he's put in the sweat, he's put in the tears. He's made the sacrifices, you know. He's a pioneer. He put young people on. So some of the stuff that he says there, which really references what he was going through in his life, I guess. I got lawyers, I got fees. That's a lot of zaga.
That's a lot of zaga.
That's the balak namas. You know what I mean?
Hey, Maniyoshi go ratatata.
Come on.
And ratatata is also like a song reference. Back in the days, they used to say a machine gun.
Oh, yeah,
so the
yeah.
machine, the money, muchini, and the machine mushinuti ratatata. Yeah.
Crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so that first line already, that's not the first time he speaks on lawyers in this album. It's a lot of fees, you know what I mean? So that means that he was paying like a lot towards his legal fees, or stuff he was going through. But at the same time, still had to maintain, you know, this crown on his head.
Heavy is the head that weighs the crown.
Know, he's a dad, you know, you can imagine the pressure. And we're going to get to a song where he says that he thought of his daughter and that kept him going. But yeah, so this entire song features MT, a very, very nice verse from MT as well.
Fire.
Manana. Manana with the
on the hook.
Vocals. Man, dog, like you should check that out. So this is Crown, track 3 on the album. I'm just going through it because we're trying to get to as far as we can. This, you know, Lemons Lemonade. I'm not gonna say too much because this was the first single from the album, dropped last year, Nasty C. This got me to really appreciate AKA's production like genius. You know, what he made Nasty C deliver. You know, that's
he changed Nasty C. He made us get used to a South African Nasty C.
There we go.
Nasty Ekasi.
Like, that's where you got to understand that, this guy doesn't just like record the hits, but he can guide you to a hit. He can guide you to a verse that's going to get the whole country feeling like, damn, is this nasty? You know? So, let's just chop up these few, you know?
I'd like to have a contribution then. Is it Lemons and Lemonade with Nasty C? So I saw on the lyrics, there's a part where it says, "Bathole ngathi bakidlile so ngabagayimo."
Oh, that's Nasty C.
Yeah.
I pulled up.
Says
the energy was weak. It was sleeping. Gave him some more vibe.
So
Movite.
babhale Movite.
Yeah.
So according to that line and its credibility, and in his mind, and in what a lot of people are saying, and how nasakula tinekase kiba ukadipoto
Yeah.
ayike into relevant evalana nokuthi abantu balele wabagayi energy sonke siyazi ukuthi yini lento kumele ngabe uyishilo so angazi remove it umgayi nyuku na ngoba bekumele ngabe uvele washo ukuthi MOFAYA
Yabona.
Shout out.
Give him the Movite. So that's the breakfast.
Yeah, that's that breakfast. If you saw that, you should know.
It gives you strength.
It gives you strength. Like, it makes you grow, gives you that energy. But quickly, in AKA's verse.
And I think it's because it's got Moringa in it. And that's why it's got the Movite name. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Dark Days, Friends with You, it's all right. Turn that pain to fuel and survived, 2021, we all knew that could have been the end of AKA. The mere
people thought it was the end of AKA. Even Casper was like, that man is finished. I don't even.
But you can't skip over the
hook.
No, the immigration Tutula lines. Zaga 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 zaga.
No, that's nasty.
Always out of the
nasty.
country.
That's nasty. We're going to the AKA lines.
Okay.
So
but we'll go to that. Yeah, we'll go through that.
Okay, let me rush through it then.
Uzohlala lethi stool uzohlala phansi.
Usadla.
Dark days,
Hey.
friends with you.
That's
It's all
umkhulu
right.
wenu la.
I don't
Oh, cool. I turned that pain to fuel and survived, you know. Ooh, now I'm stronger. Backstage, yo. Can you tell the youngins about Backstage, the show?
Well, they know it's
They
ETV.
know, right?
It was like Fame Academy.
You
If you've
understand
watched
what
the
I mean?
movie Fame, Backstage, you know, ETV,
Yeah, ETV.
like it was a TV show about young kids that
Yeah.
were aspiring to do things in the arts.
In the arts, performing and all of that. So Backstage in the coop, like Lorsha.
Losha Cooper was an actress on Backstage, one of the
Backstage.
main actresses,
Yeah.
you know, and RIP to Morubi, who was also one of the main actresses there. She was dating Clint Brink. Yeah. Marubini, sorry.
R.I.P.
And yes, she was dating another actor.
Precious as well, right?
Yeah, Clint Brink.
Oh, shout out to Clint Brink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the brother who also died through a motorbike accident. I forgot his name. Good-looking colored brother. Forgot his name.
I forgot all the characters' names, but yeah, I didn't watch Backstage that much.
Okay. Cool. So
Younger Chief loved that show more than I did.
So he sends a shout out to, Backstage. If you're South Africa, you would know. Mass countries for the South Africans. So all of these references are for you guys. You know what I mean? Spin moves in the paint like Jordan. Girlfriend on the BS, that's Taurus.
She's a Taurus.
Yeah,
she's on the bull. The Taurus is also if your star sign.
Yeah, the symbol is a bull. You know what I mean? Star sign. So, this line is stupid, but it's dope because he references her star sign, Nadia's star sign, Taurus. Then he says it, star signs. I pull up and shine like stars shine at Nostra. Then he speaks about galaxy, where the stars at. Galaxy boy.
That's culture.
That's culture. You know what I mean? Then here we go again. I've been on top for a long time. That's facts. Facts. Championships.
Yeah.
I'm a big corn bite.
So championships.
Chips. Championships. But I'm a chips, And then I'm a big corn bites. Corn bites are actually I'm a chips that you can get in the store wherever you're at. But we're not trying to put them on like that. But it's it's the lyrics.
Who's
I'm
this
just reading
guy?
the lyrics. You know what I mean? Then we spoke about the piano line. People say hip hop died. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
Thank God they showed their true colors. Switched up piano like vultures. Very very historical, catchy hook. Catchy chorus, catchy post-chorus, and then here we go OG with the Nasty C line. I think OG, could break down the Nasty C line, the Nasty C verse.
No. Let's go to the next verse.
So I'll go to the immigration one that I was talking about. Amazaizai is what in the townships they would call foreigners.
foreign
right?
national.
Amazaizai.
Okay, cool.
So it's always at the country.
Other
Guess I'm a
countries,
zai.
Because Veli travels a lot. He's an
Travels
international
much.
traveler.
Shout out to Blackie, who's also
And then,
flying
I
the
guess
flag
I'm a
internationally
Zai
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Zaba Zaizai.
Yeah.
Is at the country. Guess
Because I'm a
okay.
Zaizai.
And then the next track?
So check Nasty C's verse out. Like this whole verse is so South A. Like there's no other a South A Nasty C verse like this one. He says stuff like, because he's always out the country, guess he's a Zai. What he's saying is, when they pull me over, I'm black, I might die. In other countries
Where they pull me over, I'm black, I might die. That's in the USA.
the
George
USA,
Floyd
if you're black
vibes.
and the police pull you over, that could be like your last
Black and
day.
slim.
You understand what I mean? Then he says, damn, no SAPS, cool drink, high five.
Swashang MOFAYA
You
team.
understand? MOFAYA. He told me the story. But
No. We were just a little bit over the speed limit.
And then,
Just a little bit. It wasn't definable, but they said no. Buffet in Petit MOFAYA, like
Shout out
it
to
is shady
MOFAYA.
MOFAYA, so Sabakai MOFAYA.
saves you from prison time. I'm just playing.
Cool, literally.
Yeah.
And cool, yeah. So that's that Nasty C verse. Very dope track. Check it out. Produced. Did I say the credits? I don't think I gave credits to the producers and the writers, but I do know Zadok is on. Tepo Teddy is the producer. F Deezers, Oriya Beats, Christa. It's also got writing credits by Sun and Bali. Bali, who's been he wrote most of the songs as well.
Yeah, him and Son.
Him and Sun.
They were the co-writers on the thing.
The album. Cool. Maybe we can do 2 more tracks. And then, I can hand it over to the OGs. Prada. So Prada features a long time AKA collaborator, Kuli Chana, on the
Living
opening,
legend.
a living legend. On the opening or on the intro of the album, we know that line. Shout out Johnny Clare, Kuli Chana, living legend. In almost every song, or album, AKA has either featured Kuli Chana or he's given him his flowers, and on giving him his flowers, it's so crazy that this song is actually a song about giving the person you love something a bit more than just flowers, Da, da, da. I just forgot the name.
It's a sample.
You know how I know that AK is such a genius because I listen to my little sister who's 4 and our cousin who's also 4. They're the same age. So
4-year-olds are very smart, eh?
yeah.
Nango.
So when they trying to sing, they're not singing the lyrics or whatever. That's the part that they singing. Da, 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 da. I'm like, damn, shout out to Keenan. He knew what he was doing. So this is a song that the OGs will remember because of the sample, but it's also easy for the kids to sing along to. So we just connected the masses one more time. Please pay attention. Hey. All right, cool. So the hook goes, you got to buy me Prada. Don't buy me flowers. All right, cool. I bought you 50 roses, gift wrapped in hundreds. That's that romantic gesture. I know you can't see through my mind. Flex on me sometimes. That's just what I like, So his verse, I wouldn't really say his verse was top shelf. You could hear that he was just focused a lot more on the production and the feeling that the song would give you, which worked. But Kuli Chana came with a crazy verse. I really, really enjoyed Kuli Chana's verse. Life begins at 40. Wifey just bought me my first rollie. Damn. I'm saying goodbye to the old me. Bupilu busofti. Hakisoli.
Yeah, I don't regret it.
I don't regret nothing. Look at where I'm at. Checks cleared. Now we checked in. Dog. This type of flex is OG type of flex. You know what I mean? And yeah, another reference to their classic collaboration chorus with the sky to the ground, so we hit the flow. So this
That's I Want It All.
I Want It All, yeah. So this song just gives another feel, of what an AKA and Kuli Chana collaboration could produce, and I love it. I love the song. I think Nota's still trying to understand it.
I like it a lot more now that it's in context. But it's not my favorite.
Yeah, Penuel, just let's give it a few spins. I think you'll bump it a lot.
I want to say this about Prada. Some of the comments that came through after we lost Keenan was how he loved out loudly, which is quite dope. And the references to the roses and the money and those things. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
I even saw that video clip of him.
Let's not speak about me and my love.
His daughter, her first flowers. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I want you to know that I'm the first man to buy you flowers.
Yeah, there's a video.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, with Cairo. Yeah,
cool. So this is where we've reached pretty much midway through the album. There's still Sponono. There's still Company.
We've spoken about Company a lot of times.
Yeah, we've spoken about Company a lot. There's Paradise. Nota spoke about that. There's Ease, which features Black.
You see, that's a song that actually grew on me. Actually, let me stop with that one. You know what? It actually really, really grew on me. You know what I mean? Because once you listen to the album in context, that song in itself is it's one of those songs that I can play on repeat over and over again. So some songs, sometimes when you initially hear them, you're like, because the thing is that when it was released as a single, I said, the expectation is yo, you got a beat set. You understand what I'm saying? But now that we're listening to the album in context, it's not about beating, it's not about competing, it's about listening to this body of work and appreciating it. And when you listen to that song and appreciating it, it's an earworm. It's one of those songs that gets stuck in your head. You know what I mean? When you're brushing your teeth in the morning, when you're cleaning the house, when you were cleaning the bathroom yesterday, you know what I mean?
No,
it was his turn.
Real story. Real story. Crazy. All right, cool. So I'm not gonna go into all of them, but maybe a very important song. Damn, I'm gonna have to do these 2 songs and then I can pass it on to the OGs because of time. Diary. So diary, literally from the title. So it's diary and then in brackets anxiety, right? So you get the idea that this is deep. He's just opening up to his diary about, what he's feeling, what he's going through. I can imagine this must have been one of the songs he had written in the darkest stages of his life. We know he lost his wife. Traditionally that Nelly is his wife, right?
Customarily, yes.
Yeah, 2021, very tragic event as well. So I feel like he was in that space when he was writing this. So
and he references a lot that the image burnt in his head.
Go.
You know what I mean?
That's what I need to tap into. So I'm gonna tap into a part in the chorus, right? One, I can't open up to anybody. They don't know how loud the silence really is. You can imagine what he was going through. Couldn't really express his feelings, what he was going through. Maybe that state of shock. That time the media is saying everything about him. It was a tricky period, I guess, for him, as an artist, as a human being, as a father, as a son, and who does he talk to? So I think it was hard, and it was just literally writing.
And he was also getting silent treatment from his in-laws as well.
You know what I mean? Then he goes up to say, "Dear diary, I'm losing my religion, my batteries, my batteries, it's running out of energy."
You're in that book of Job type of thing where you feel like God has taken everything away from you.
It's like, why am I even still here? He says, I'm getting real close. This man was giving up, That's why I'm talking to you and nobody else. Lights are on, but nobody's home. Very deep. It means this man was just like a body, but inside nobody's there. He felt like, gone, dog.
He was dead inside.
He was dead inside. Nothing inside, So now the second verse is what I was telling Nota, that I felt. And people might say this is a reach. I have no intentions to reach. This is by no means for clouds or anything. It's just what I've picked up. He says, opening up the second verse, "Okay, I cannot feel no pain." That line hits me harder now. Because he's gone, right? I was speaking to a doctor, Rodeport, and this doctor at the time of Keenan's murder was in Durban, and he works in that section, casualties and stuff, So he was just explaining
Morningside.
So he was explaining yo, dog, watching that CCTV and stuff, there's absolutely no way this man felt any pain. They just switched him off, So that's why it hit harder listening to this opening line. Then he says, "Nothing come close to the way I feel when I go back in my memory bank and see that frame." So clearly he's talking about the day or the night when...
the morning.
In the morning when...
Of his wife's passing,
His wife's passing, R.I.P. Nelly. And he's just telling us nothing comes close to the way he feels when he goes back. But right now, we as the Megacy, as his fans, as the people that loved him, nothing also feels close to the way I felt when I watched that CCTV footage, dog. Nothing comes close to that feeling. Just watching that, damn, is this really do you know? You know what I mean? And then he says that ish burned my brain forever. Another crazy thing because
he got shot in the head,
right there,
and obviously it's forever, so because he's not gonna come back.
He's not gonna come back. He says that's where my whole life changed in the space of 30 seconds. I think it took less than 30 seconds for me to see him drop to the ground like that. You know what I mean? Then he says Sunday papers, character assassination. So when his wife had passed on, we all know what was going on in the media, what people were saying, how, he was a suspect, basically. You know what I mean?
But that's the natural thing.
The natural thing.
And as well, I'd like to say this, any father, like I'd said previously, and these gentlemen can attest to this because they are fathers. Any father, if you lose your child in tragic circumstances, whoever is there is automatically a suspect, and nothing will console you until you know for sure that there was no foul play. You know what I mean? You'll use each and every single resource available to you. You know what I mean? You won't believe any story. It doesn't matter how believable it is. Even if you see it in video footage, you won't believe anything about your child until you can be sure. So,
the answers. Yeah. So Sunday papers, character assassination, deep again, because literally he was assassinated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just
literally assassination, and he's AKA, so he's a character as well, and the character was assassinated.
Yeah.
So this song for you was literally him having a premonition of what's to come and
That's
prophesying.
what it feels like when I listen to it now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have felt the same if he had been here, you
Yeah.
know, while listening to it. It would have just given me, oh, he's just speaking about what happened that morning, you know, when
But
his
now
wife
it
had
becomes
passed.
so much deeper.
But now it becomes deeper. And I don't know how many listeners feel the same. That's why I'm saying this is how I felt. You will let the hustlers, or the hustlers will
I think
let you know.
when it comes to art, everyone is allowed their own interpretation.
There we go.
Because you can make an artwork
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and someone else can interpret it for themselves, and
Yeah.
that's already good enough.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So a very deep song. He speaks on the fact that the Minister of Police, Mr. Bheki Cele, was also like on the program. You know, while he had prepared his speech, when he opened up the program, he wasn't there, you know, to speak.
Neither of them were there.
Neither of them, but then, you know, the minister spoke, and he felt like, damn, you know, and he says the cold treatment that he received from his in-laws during that time was
And another shout out to Bheki Cele. I know that we've criticized him a lot, and obviously the crime stats in this country are crazy, like right now. But one thing for sure, you know, he has told us on many occasions that he speaks to Keenan's family every day, updating them about the progress of this case. He's taking it really seriously. I know people saw him laughing and everything else, but I don't think that is a malicious thing. It's like just his nature. He's like that, you know. And from what I've been able to see from his demeanor, I feel like he's confidently on the right trail as to, you know, who are the masterminds behind Kienan's assassination, and the fact that he's speaking to the family each and every single day, updating them daily on the progress. You know what I mean? It's not for him to update us. He said that. That's what he said. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, unless the parents say, listen, this man has not spoken to us.
I'm glad then. That's great news to hear that.
Yeah, because he even gave us another update. Like just this past week, I think on Wednesday, he gave another update.
I think while you're already there, I think that's what a lot of people are thinking, because you're one of the people who were vocal after that happened without having to off-ramp into that space. Is that how do you feel right now? Which is,
Look,
it's exactly a month later since
It's exactly a month later, and obviously I'm upset that we haven't had any arrests yet. But, you know, I'm reassured by the fact that they are making sure that this is a watertight case. We don't have another Senzo Meyiwa case. And another thing, you know, politicians are always looking for ways to, you know, look good in the public. You know, we've got an election coming up next year, and Bheki Cele cannot afford, you know, to mess this one up. You know, his entire political career is on the line. His entire credibility is on the line. And the credibility of his superiors, the people that hired him, the presidency, their credibility is on the line.
He was just reappointed last week.
Yes. In terms of this case right now, if it's seen that he's not doing his job with this high profile case, then his career is on the line, because the entire national party, I mean, not the national party, the ANC, the governing party, you know, will be judged according to, you know, his actions right now. You know, it's a very high profile case.
So I just want to say, obviously, since I'm here, like on behalf of the Megacy, we're just saying to the Minister of Police, like, you know, we're trusting that you will crack the case. We're hoping that, you know, this will bring justice to the fans who loved AKA so much, and strength, you know, and prayers to you, because everyone is asking questions. We're just hurt. You've seen tweets. We're tagging you. We're tagging the police. But bottom line is, you are only hope at this point, you know, to bring the answers, like, to the fans and everyone who loved AKA. So we trusting you. You know, that has to be said, because bashing him won't help, you know.
No, I just wanted to congratulate you and thank you for coming to break down the importance.
So one more track to go though.
Of Kieran in the culture. No, it's fine, because he has to go. Time is gone. Cool. We really have to wrap it up. But I just wanted to say, it's also nice for other people to see the artist through the eyes of their fans. I think it's a beautiful thing, because sometimes I think in this modern day age of social media, fans are like numbers. So it's nice to put a face into a dear hip hop head, but who's also a fan of an artist who represented his country. And I saw the hurt in your eyes. You've been there. You've attended the different events. Now you're breaking it down for us. It's also beautiful. You're giving us an opportunity to view Keenan with a different eye, and also in just breaking down his lyrics. As much as we know that this happens with Ngabo Drake, Nama overseas artists, I didn't know what even locally you guys dissect each and every line of your favorite artists that much, the way that you just did it. I just interviewed A. Reese 2 weeks ago on the Hustlers Corner.
That,
And I just didn't know how big that episode would become. I knew that he was big, but those things give us an opportunity to view artists in a different light.
Yeah.
So you've given us that today, and thank you very much for honoring Keenan's memory and being a true hip hop fan.
Thank you so much for the platform.
Yeah, no,
Got
thank you.
snuck in.
No, it's all good. But the album is now gold. Company is gold as well. So congratulations to the Megacy. Just as you walk towards the camera, just show them your T-shirt front to back. You know, just justice will do justice to the profile as you're walking. No, don't worry, I got you. Grab the bag, and then you can pass me the mic.
So let me just explain. So Mom Lynn Forbes at the listening session had given me this, right? So if you notice, this is what the family wore at the memorial service. You know, it's exclusive merch. It's like, I don't think it's for sale, or, you know. So she had just handed me this, and I think this is probably gonna be the last time I wear it, because I told OG's boo that I'm trying to put it, I'm trying to frame it.
You're trying to frame it.
Yeah, trying to frame
So
it.
let's see the front of it as well.
Long live Super Mecca.
Live long.
Long.
Danko.
Thank you very much.
Danko. Danko French fry.
Worthwhile gate crash.
French fry, thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, Svele Safos and
Appreciate you,
Jengom
thanks,
Zegeze.
bro.
And it's good looking and it's articulate.
Yeah. No, he was well trained. He even
Thanks,
got
Justin.
trained by the late Mark Pilgrim. May his soul rest in peace. You know, who was being buried this weekend as we're recording this. So that's another radio legend that has passed on, that we're saying goodbye to. And it's been a month since Keenan's passing. You know, yeah. I mean, I'm still gutted. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's the thing about death is that its finality is something that is hard to accept. You know, it's hard to come to terms with. And even something as, oh no, let's hold on to the music. For me, that's not enough, because I knew the human being and the person. I wasn't attached to his musical career. In fact, if he stopped making music, you know, I'd still appreciate him as a human being. And yeah, man, I think bringing French Fry here, I just thought, you know what, let's actually give a platform to his fans and show people, you know, the human side of the fans, and also show people who might not understand the effect of his passing and the way in which he passed on people. It's really hard. You know, I lost an uncle in a similar way, you know, who was shot in the head as well when I was 5 years old, and that image of him in that coffin is still burnt in my head. Even though you try to fix him up, you know, I still remember, you know, some 27 years ago, looking into his coffin and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this is my hero, you know, and he's gone. You know, he was the guy that gave me video games and all that type of stuff. Is my mother's younger brother. And especially on my mother, the way in which, you know, he supported the family, even though he got himself wrapped up in some criminality, it was in the cause of the struggle. Our former premier, David Makura, when he skipped the country in a car that my uncle had stolen for him, you know. My other uncle, who's also very close friends with our former premier, David Makura, who's the head of policy for the ANC right now, also skipped the country in a car that my uncle had stolen for him, driven by an 11-year-old driver. I was on SABC talking about gun violence, and people were clowning the fact that, you know, I remember going to look at my uncle, or going to look for my uncle's guns in White City, Jabov, when I was 2 years old, and I've got vivid memories of that. I still remember him taking me to meet my mother after the birth of my younger brother, and he explained, okay, you're gonna have a new brother now. You know, I still remember the conversation that we were having at that point in time, because I could speak and I was not articulate, but I could speak and understand. And that image etched in the brain, you know, of my uncle looking like that, you know, is something that I will never be able to forget. And I wasn't even his child. You know, he had other children. as well who are still here today. You know, one of whom has passed away, my cousin Uspesihle, who was also close friends with Ukilakao. You know, so and they knew each other. You know, so that's what brought me closer to Kilakao, even in his passing, because I knew that he was friends with my cousin. And I just think of his daughter, you know, who will grow up without a father, and you know, the lack of empathy that I've seen from some people for her, especially, you know, growing up without a father, the attacks on her mother, you know, who is going through mourning, the fact that her daughter's hero is no longer here. You know what I mean? Like, Uzinja doesn't deserve that. She doesn't deserve criticism for how she's mourning and how she's expressing herself. And it's just sickening to witness her having to explain herself each and every single week. You know, there are sometimes we troll, we clown on social media, you know what I mean? I get into it, but you know, there's certain things even I have a line against, like, yo, you can't troll on someone's grave. And having to, you know, raise your daughter now without her father and having to play a dual role of maintaining his memory is something you don't wish upon your worst enemy. You know, even if you hate Zintle, like, you wouldn't wish that upon her. And she has to deal with that every single day. She wakes up and takes her daughter to school or wherever she may take her. She has to deal with the fact that I cannot drop her off at her father's, you know, like she'd always want to. I cannot take her on dates with her father. I cannot be her father either. That's something that is irreversible. And the people that did this, or the people behind his tragic passing, need to know that that is what they've taken away from Cairo, you know. And may they never rest. May they never sleep peacefully for that. You know, it's completely unforgivable. And yeah, I mean, it hurts. It hurts. I don't know how you guys feel as fathers as well. I mean, you guys are alive and working each and every single day so you can provide the security that your daughters need, and the guidance that your daughters need, and especially girl children. They need their fathers. I know that I was robbed of a very intimate relationship with my father because he was so focused on being a good father for my sister, you know, and I didn't take that to heart. Or I don't blame my dad for being, you know, for my sister being his favorite child or anything like that. I don't feel like she was spoiled because I know how necessary it is, you know, especially for girl children. And for me, even though I didn't get to spend as much intimate time with my father like my sister did, I know that he showed me by example how I should be as a father when I have my girl child one day, you know. And yeah, man, it's just like a shocking tragedy that's still hard to come to terms with, still almost impossible to accept, you know, and it angers me still. But, you know, we'll heal. And I'm hoping that justice, or the wheels of justice, not you, the wheels of justice move a little bit swifter, and that we have finality and find out who did this thing.
I think from my side, just in closing, I want to send a shout out to French Fry again, for being such an amazing voice for his generation, for the family, for the Megacy. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. And I'm honored to have met you as well. We were laughing here at the beginning and now it's become so somber. Shit. I've listened to the album twice, and shout out to my sister Penrose. We were actually going to a funeral for my uncle, Umtofi, my mother's cousin, or brother rather. Again, it's just this theme of deaths, you know. Shout out to my sister for making us listen to the album in the car with my brother. That was pretty dope. AKA, for people that follow my social media would know, he's my favorite South African rapper by far. I didn't know him personally. And at some point while we were sitting here, I was actually even asking myself, why am I even here? Because I don't think I'm qualified to speak about the album. I don't think I'm qualified to speak about the man because I didn't know him personally. But I appreciate that I'm on a platform with people that knew him, you know, to honor his death.
How many times? I think the last time we did an episode, you were like, yo, AKA, please come through. How many times did you say that on every episode? We hear, yo, please come through. And we gave him his flowers. Even the last episode that we shot before he passed away, you know, we were giving him his flowers. And I just feel like, you know, the character assassination also stopped us from giving him his flowers. Sorry to cut you there.
So yeah, I think just in closing, man, again, rest in peace to AKA, and again, condolences and sympathies to his family, his friends, his fans, to Tibbs as well, his family, his fans, his friends. We're remembering, of course, Rick that we lost. We're remembering Linda Mkhize that we lost. To all the hustlers and squatters, of course, when these things happen, we're speaking about
who also passed away on the 9th of March.
Well,
So we commemorated his tragic murder as well.
So we speak a lot about celebrities. They celebrated people. We love their art. They affect our lives on a very personal level. But you should also take this time to remember all the people in your families. As Nota was doing, remembering his family as well. Unfortunately, from my side, I don't have much faith in our policing system or our legal system because of their track record. If there is justice for AKA, we'll appreciate it. It won't mean they've won me over. I do think the citizens need to do more. We saw it with the riots in Durban as an example, that certain communities weren't waiting for the cops as an example. So I do urge more people to not to take matters into their own hands, but to try and be responsible and protect their daughters, their families. We need to do more. I mean, the police services are just humans like us. I could be a cop. A minister of police is just a human being like myself and other people. So there's nothing stopping us from getting to that level of being able to protect our families, our communities, and the crime has to stop. Sympathies and condolences to the Tembe family, who also, they lost their daughter and
their son-in-law as well.
As we all cry, these are all the people that are embroiled in all of this stuff, and it's quite tragic and it's quite somber. And we'll keep listening to the music. Shout out to AKA for being such a deep patriot. I mean, the guy loved the country more than myself, but he reminded us of the beauty of this country. Oshabalala in Mexico, and even on SDC with no pepper steak pie, no more fight, which should have been more fire. As a country, we do try to laugh through the pain. I think what Bheki was doing was probably a nervous tick. Jacob Zuma would do the same when he'd laugh in parliament, when he probably thought a question was too ridiculous. We laugh. We laugh through the pain, not because we're laughing, but to also try and manage ourselves and to not lose our minds. But from my side, man, Nota, thanks for bringing French Fry. Thanks for the platform and for my opportunity to speak to everyone. Nozi, in Cairo, everyone that's involved, man, the Forbes family, and everyone who's lost people in their lives and who hasn't received
and also
justice.
the Tembe
family as well.
The Tembe family as well, commiserations to them as well, because, through the anger of the supporters and people just pouring out their feelings on this. I know the father released a statement to say, he has noted that people have been pointing fingers at his family, and he wanted to categorically deny that his family would have had any involvement in the passing of Keenan. And, I'm not inclined to whether believe or disbelieve people, but I mean, he didn't have to make that statement, but he did, and I'm glad that he did, because a lot of people who were there, even when Keenan passed, have not spoken about what actually happened. And that is something that I still find very disappointing. The people that were with him on that tragic day, they have not spoken to actually explain to the public what has happened. And on the previous episode where you and I were together here, I mean, almost a year ago, right? This time, we were speaking about the Senzo Meyiwa case. And I said, it doesn't matter what happens. Penuel, even now, if anything were to happen to you and I was there, I need to explain to your mother what happened. I need to be able to explain to the public what happened, because now you're a public figure, and people know you and people want to know that, listen, we were with this person and this is what transpired. And we've got so many questions, I mean, for me personally, I've been very vocal, but I'm not the only one who's very vocal. Although I'm the only one who gets, legal action put against me. And for those that think that, legal action will silence me or will convince me that, I need to sit down in a prison cell for 60 days because someone was shot and killed in such a tragic way. I mean, the mere fact that you are such a savage, an animal, in Lavini, that you think that silencing me is what you need to be doing instead of calling for justice, instead of actually thinking about this person's daughter who will never see her father again, who will never be raised up by her father again, who will never be held by her father again. You want to spend money on lawyers and try to silence me. because I'm questioning things, and we are seeing footage. We are seeing CCTV footage, which is evidence. You know.
Yeah. French Fry spoke about newspapers and character assassination, and a lot of people don't understand why Usbu keeps bringing you here. I haven't asked him, and it's not my place to ask him. You know, as a groot man yethu. But I'd like to think, knowing Usbu sees, so part of the reason is we do this thing of isolating people when other people have said, no, write this guy off. And we know what happens when you isolate someone. French Fry was reading the lyrics of The Silence. And I'd like to think Usbu is here because he's like, Nota, we're here with you. I'm your older brother, Usbu, and I'm going to give you a platform, but I'm also mzokhuza where I can as an older brother, you know. Things like pointing out people out of pain. Some of us understand, other people don't. And when guys do sue you, it's out of the fear as well that you...
No. I'm not going to let you finish because let me tell you why. And it angers me. It disgusts me. And I'll say that categorically. It disgusts me. I have not pointed a finger and said, this is the person that killed AKA. I have not pointed a finger and said, this is the person that ordered the hit on AKA. I've said, you were with AKA. We need answers. We have questions. There's questionable behavior that we are seeing on CCTV footage, and that is evidenced. Because there's footage of it, that is evidence. You know what I mean? And hold on, wait. And then to twist my words and say I'm accusing people of things. To say that I've never said anyone is a killer. I've never said that. I said these people that were with him need to answer. And I'm consistent. That's the reason why I brought us back to that episode that we shot before, where I spoke about the Senzo Meyiwa case. And I said the people that were present there need to have answers. And for you to not be able to read between what I'm saying and what people are saying about me means that you're not being fair to me. And to be fair to me, actually go and assess what I've said and see those statements. You know what I mean? We did an episode with Sbu, you know, after I was held in a holding cell for like 4 hours. And where I needed to apologize, I did apologize. But I still have questions. And if anything happens to any one of us while others are present, we need to have definitive answers from people. We can't have people who are mourning and in pain, and then the very next day, they're no longer in pain. I cannot watch you with my own eyes getting shot in the head, and then 2 weeks later, I'm no longer traumatized. I'm continuing with life as normal, and I have not given answers. Even when Anele died, AKA sat down with Tembinkosi Mkhototo to actually give answers because people were asking too many questions. You understand what I'm saying? We watched that. And whether it was ill-advised, whether it was not, at least we've got him answering the questions that people wanted to know. And these people need to answer questions. We cannot have silence. We cannot have... You don't get the phone calls and the attacks that I get from certain people who are saying, hey, keep quiet and shut up. And those are attacks. People threatening my life. Saying, hey, you're making too much noise. And that's the thing. In this country, if you're saying that, oh no, I have no faith in the police, if we are not making noise, then who's going to give the police incentive to actually do something? Who's going to say to those police officers, we're not going to let this die down. We're going to keep piping up. We're going to keep pressurizing you to actually give us answers because we are all hurt. And me being hurt doesn't mean that I do something that is irresponsible. And someone then taking what I'm saying and then mischaracterizing it, misquoting me, taking a small Anyana clip out of context, and then trying to use that to character assassinate me. You know that that's what happens. You know that that's what happens. It happens to you as well. It happens to Sbu as well. What I've said is that the people that were there need to give answers. And we cannot be silent about that. You know what I mean? And we cannot be running to lawyers for each and every single thing. Sbu had an opportunity to run to lawyers with Musa Kaula. And he said, no, let me not do that. Why? Because I don't need to be running to lawyers for these things. If I know that I've got a clean heart, I've got a clear conscience, I would not be running to lawyers. If you've got something to say and you've got something to answer for, answer to that and leave it at that. And as for how people feel, that's how people feel. I've got genuine reasons why I feel the way I feel. I knew this person personally, you didn't know them personally. It affects me personally, the way this person was taken out. And it could happen to any one of us. Now we've got a voice, now we've got a platform. And we should not be silenced when we've got a voice and a platform, because then that information that we have inside is what's going to lead us to be killed one day. They're going to say, oh no, this one knows too much. Before they speak, let us take him out. And if I don't speak, if I'm not vocal, if I don't see what my suspicions are, if I don't speculate in the way that I have speculated, you know, on things that I'm seeing, there's evidence of it. I'm not just thumb-sucking. We saw the CCTV footage and the behavior of everyone on camera
is something that we need to question. What was your role? Why were you there? And we also forget that Tibbs was not supposed to be there that day. You know what I mean? He's another person whose family need answers. And for Tibbs' sake, we need to know who did this. For Tibbs' parents' sake, we need to know who did this. Tibbs leaves behind nobody. His parents have lost their heir, and that's it for them. The only child they were able to produce. Who knows what reasons why they only had one child? Maybe they only had resources to only have one child. You understand? Who knows what the reason may be, but he's now gone. And they've got nothing left of him. There's not a semblance of him left. And the least we could do as, people with humanity, abanobuntu, is to seek answers. You understand what I'm saying? And for me, it's like a natural thing. That's why my name is Nsamolo. I want to always seek answers, and I want to find out what actually happened, because we are hurt and we're hurting. When French Fry was busy speaking here, I had to hold back tears the entire time to stop myself from crying on camera. And I don't like the way in which certain people have now tried to make me look like I'm a crazy person. I've gone through a lot. I sat for 96 hours in a mental institution because people have tried to make me look crazy, tried to mischaracterize me, tried to attack my family, send death threats to my family and all that stuff. You haven't faced that. I've faced that. And with the same bravery, with the same balls, I'm saying we will not rest. Personally, I will not rest until there's answers. I will not rest until there's answers. And I will encourage anyone that thinks that legal action will silence me. It will not. It will not. You're actually making matters worse. Have you heard of the Barbra Streisand effect? That's exactly what they're doing. It's the Barbra Streisand effect right now. And we need those people who were with them on that day to give us better answers, to actually tell us what actually happened. Because we can see that something is amiss here. The story that we were given before the CCTV footage is completely inconsistent with what we heard before the CCTV footage was released or leaked. It's completely inconsistent. And that leads to questions, that leads to speculation. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. I just want to put my part like that because, I feel like sometimes people also attack Sbu and say, oh no, Sbu, don't give this person a platform. Sbu is a person who knows my heart. The first time he gave me a platform was to boost another artist, De Elias, put him on stage, launch his album. That was 15 years ago. Now you're telling me that someone who's known me for over 15 years needs to now hear from someone who has not even met me, who does not even know me, or does not even know my heart, and then discard me. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need the platform of YouTube to get my message out there. It's getting out there, and lots of people are asking questions. I'm not the only one, and I'm not crazy. And I don't want anyone to make it seem like any one of us here is not stable or is unstable or Sbuza is doing me a favor or he's bringing his platform down by bringing me on here. Because when you add fuel to that flame, you're burning all of us. Because then we cannot speak. We cannot say, okay, no, Penuel mustn't speak about Andre Tereta. He's talking about coal mining and all this corruption stuff. Every single time you get questions. But Penuel, isn't your life in danger of all these truths that you say? All these things that you say, don't you think that, imagine if we live in such a mafia state where we no longer have our constitutional right to freedom of speech and we are silenced because we live in fear. We think that, no, if I say something wrong, someone might kill me. Someone might kill you for something that you say. Then there's something wrong that they're doing. There must be something wrong that they're doing if they have to kill someone to silence that person forever and for good. And we cannot allow that. We cannot encourage that. And also, we cannot encourage a culture of fear. Like, I cannot allow young people to watch me be scared or be, roughed up or whatever and be fearful. Because if I do that, then those who don't even have the platform, those who haven't had the experiences that I had, they will be silenced by the fact that they're seeing Chris Honey lying down in a pool of blood and no one can do anything. I'll leave it at that.
Shout out to everybody else out there who's supporting good music. And what I want to say for the generation now, Abo French Fry, is at our youth, we lost Kabzela. At the time, he was huge. There was no social media. And there was this guy who was speaking like us, who was speaking as if like we're all sitting in the hood in the corner, Ekasi. But he took that to radio and we could identify with him. And some people who had never met him in his life kind of felt they knew him like as a brother next door. He was all of our brother. Kabzela Fana Kaba, may your soul rest in peace. When he passed on in those days of when the early days of HIV and AIDS in the country, when the education was starting in the country. A lot of us were confused. A lot of us were young. A lot of us were living a youthful life, partying every time. And, his passing really took its toll on us, that generation. I can imagine the people who were in the heart of New York when the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac died then. Because I remember how Tupac's death affected me here, so far away. So I can only sit here and listen to French Fry and his generation and just listen to them express themselves. And even now, just to hear Nota expressing himself, people need to express themselves. So with what we went through, losing Abu Kabzela, rest in peace to DJ Monde, for us, we took their death and we're like, how do we take these experiences to better our lives? To start being better guys out there so we become better Grootman, so we live a long life. So, we celebrated that moment, we mourned the moment, we had lost till today. One always imagines how much of great things Kabzela would be doing if he was still alive, if the notorious B.I.G. was here, if Tupac was still here, if Iggy Smalls was still here, may his soul rest in peace, if DJ Monde was still here. Before there was Black Coffee, there was DJ Monde, there was Iggy Smalls. The guys who paved the way to good deep house, to soulful house music, to where the culture is right now. At that time, we were young and it happened in front of our eyes. But I just want to say we took all of their death and that loss as some sort of way to pump ourselves up to start either living responsibly or mourn their legacies in a positive way so that we get to live a long life. And now here we are. We are Grootmans. We are family men, but it's still sad that we still keep on hearing of all these young, amazing musicians that keep dying at an early age all over the world. May Keenan's soul rest in peace. I just want to thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'm looking forward to a better episode again when I've got Nota and Penuel. I'm glad that at least for the first time this year they're together. Not for the first time. I know we did, they call it the Avengers episode last week.
Yeah.
But I'm still looking forward to a full-on proper episode between the two of you. I like also the fact that you guys differ on views, but you're working together, even for instance, on your upcoming book. And I'm glad that you guys, you don't let your differences deter you from away from each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we need to be able to have difficult conversations. I also had the opportunity of having another difficult conversation with Grootman Arthur Mafokate. I don't know if you saw that. Set the record straight.
I didn't watch all of it. I saw clips.
Yeah, so I mean that was like an hour and a half conversation, and he was also like, Penuel is challenging me about certain things that I've said as well, and I got a chance to express myself in full context, not just taken as a small anyana clip that people can take. I also got the opportunity to sit down with Ashley Ogle on Music Business Authority.
That's the one I watched with Ashley Ogle.
Yes, and also she got an opportunity to speak for herself and on her own behalf on that platform.
The sound of that episode though wasn't that dope, but the sound was better on the Arthur's episode now.
So it was done by the same people. The sound on the Ashley episode, that was the first one.
Okay.
So the second one was the one we did with
Work
Arthur.
in progress.
You understand? So we're improving it, and we'll continue to do that. The Music Business Authority, I think Arthur is also going to continue with Set the Record Straight as well. And thank you for that partnership and everyone who was there. That Ashley Ogle episode, we're going to obviously have a full proper edit. So the sound was taken, it's going to be treated well, and it's going to be re-uploaded without that technical glitch that was there. So you'll get to hear it properly. So it's still salvageable. And thank you again for another great Monday episode. Thank you, Penuel. Wits, I apologized earlier. I don't know if you were here for misremembering some of those VCs, but to those Wits students, we're in an institution that is part of the Wits University right now. So we'd like to say to them that Sinan.
Thank you very much, guys. Check out the Penuel show. He dropped an episode this morning. Check out myself and Penuel next door on Virtual MKHUKHU. There's a link in the description. Check out the Penuel, the Black Pants YouTube channel. Check out Nota on the Music Business Authority. It's under them Mzansi A-Listers YouTube channel. Congratulations on over 100,000 subscribers. Check out Nota with Grootman Arthur Mafokate on their brand new platform. Congratulations, Grootman.
Set the record
with
straight.
Set the Record Straight. Once again, you continue to be an inspiration in the game. And I loved it. That episode when a lot of people were making fun of you. I knew that you're launching a brand new studios. I've been to your studios at the Plot. I love how AJ is also podcasting as well. I love how the family has grown. And
Kelele's got movies as well.
Kelelo.
Kelelo.
I also like the fact that he's working with Tebogo, Uprooted Media.
Yes,
outside
Tebza,
Mabaso.
yes,
Sure.
yes,
So
yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing Set the Record Straight grow. But if I have to say something to Grootman Athan, Amanyama Grootman, DJ Fresh, by the way, congratulations on your brand new podcast. Thank you for
What
inviting
a week.
me. Thank you.
WAW.
Yeah, wow, WAW. I just want to say thank you for inviting me on the first episode, but I wanted to say it takes consistency to grow this thing. There's going to be a point where you feel like life happens, you've got family, you're older, you're busy with business, with kids. But this YouTube thing, at some point, you might even feel like giving up, but don't. Because we want to hear from you guys. You guys have lived here longer. You understand the industry better than we do. You've got a lot of knowledge to share. Bring other sisters, bring other Grootmans, have those grown conversations, just like what Grootman David Mashabela is doing. It's amazing. So the youngsters, we can learn from you guys. So congratulations with that platform as well. I hope it's going to give a whole lot of others an inspiration to start their own platforms. We'll see you guys next door on Virtual MKHUKHU, and we'll see you again next week. Ta.
Monday.